let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go. 6. It's beautiful. Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Oh, no way.
We are off and running on a Tuesday. Welcome, everybody, to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, thank you so much. Hello, YouTubers. Good to have you watching this morning. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss anything that we do. Also, give this video a like. Start leaving your comments. Follow us on X at Rush Mornings. Like our Facebook page, The Rush with Travis and Ross. And follow us on Instagram at The Rush Radio Show. I happen to be Travis Justice. He happens to be Ross Peterson. Good morning, sir. Are you ready to go fast today? I'm ready to go fast. I'm ready to go like 205 miles an hour today, man.
I like to go fast.
Fast.
I was watching the Dale Earnhardt documentary last night, the new one that's on Prime. Dude, there's so much Ricky Bobby in there. It's insane. There's so, like, Eli was watching it with me, and Eli, but it started pretty early on. He went, Dad, is this what they did Ricky Bobby on? Okay, it started with Darrell Waltrip. And Darrell Waltrip, who, if for folks that don't know, in the 80s, obviously, in the 70s and 80s, NASCAR was, the guys would climb out of the cars with dirt circles around their eyes. The goggles was the only clean part of their eyes. The tar from the tires and the dirt from the road, the dirt from the track was literally caked onto their face. It was a dirty man's sport.
And I would say, you know, in the 70s and 80s, when NASCAR was rising, it was still pretty niche. It was Southern.
Yeah.
It had its core group, but it was pretty niche. It was almost like soccer. You know, NASCAR fans back in the 70s and 80s were kind of like soccer fans, right? You just don't understand, man. Rubbin's racing. It was an adrenaline rush.
Dude, the first story that is the first story that's told Dale Earnhardt's best friend is a bass fisherman. The year that Dale won his first NASCAR race, the same weekend, his best friend won a Bass Masters tournament. His friend got a bigger paycheck winning the bass. That's where NASCAR was. Bass fishing was bigger than NASCAR. They showed the tracks. The cameras going around. There's not, you know, there's people there. It's the diehards. But dude, it's so classic. It's dudes in blue jeans and red trucker hats taking up 8 seats because they're sitting like, you know, they got their arms spread out, their legs are kicked up on the. But anyway, Darrell Waltrip shows up, and Darrell Waltrip was like the white collar guy. He'd get out and he'd comb his hair before he'd talk to and DW gets up there, and man, it looks like Ricky Bobby, Trav. Darrell Waltrip did really wonderful today. Well, I just got to thank Mountain Dew and Kentucky Fried Chicken. And if it weren't for all my great sponsors and Goes Goodyear tires, boy, we really put those to the test today. And then, he goes through everybody. And Eli looks at me and he goes, is this like Ricky Bobby? And I go, oh, you're going to see a lot of Ricky Bobby stuff here today. And it just brought back all the memories. I think it's a 4. My buddy Jason told me to watch this. I think it's a 4-episode thing. I got about halfway through the second episode yesterday.
And this one, I've read a little bit about it. I haven't started watching it. Isn't Dale Jr. part of this documentary?
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it's about Dale Earnhardt and his entire life. And, you know, Dale Jr. was a part of his life for forever. They had a different relationship because Dad was busy. I mean, yeah, they just got to the part of introducing his brother Kerry, who was actually older, but Dale fathered Kerry like in high school, and then Kerry didn't even know that Dale Earnhardt was his dad until Dale Earnhardt was, you know, like in the 80s.
Is Teresa Earnhardt part of this documentary? Has she
Yes.
been interviewed? She is. She is part of this.
Well, now hold on. She's a part of the story, obviously.
Okay, obviously.
Yeah. But have they interviewed
falling out?
her? No, I don't think they've interviewed her yet.
Yeah, I'm trying. I've done a little reading on this, and I don't know if she's a part of this because she's out on her own. It's like Dale
Well,
Jr.
certainly, I'll tell you, an episode and a half in, it gets the tone that she's got to have an antagonist. Every story, even the WNBA, has to have a protagonist and antagonist and a story arc. Well, I'm learning an episode and a half in who the antagonist in the Dale Earnhardt story is.
Yeah, because I believe like they're not even allowed to go to his gravesite. He's buried like on the family farm, and one time the sister and Dale Jr. like had to sneak onto the property just to go visit the grave. I mean, there's no.
It's bad. It's not good. So, all right, dude from Iowa writes in and says, Dale Sr. was kind of an a-hole. Cool dude, but kind of an a-hole to his kids. Dude, here's you should watch the documentary because you learn right away he came by that naturally. That Dale Earnhardt, I didn't know this until the documentary, that his dad was a race car driver. And Dale Earnhardt, they say at some point in the second episode, he wasn't actually racing the guys on the track. He was racing the ghost in his head.
Which
he was
usually
racing.
Happens, right?
A lot of driven men, you can go back and go, man, where'd you get this drive and this motivation and this? And I never could get my dad's approval.
You know, it's funny. I think I fall into that. Now, it's not to the level of Dale Earnhardt level of trying to be the best at what you could do. But I've talked about it freely on the show, is that I had daddy issues, and I probably still have daddy issues, meaning that I was so mad at my father and didn't talk to him for 25 years. He passed away, didn't go to his funeral, all that stuff. But I think as I was going up in my broadcasting career, everything that motivated me to keep doing better in broadcasting was to prove a point to my old man that, hey, I can do this. I'm not stuck in your world, and I'm going to show you that I can exceed your expectations. Even if you don't appreciate it, my motivation always probably was to say, hey, look at me, pal. Look at me. And the weird thing is, once I came to closure with that, and you're going to say, Trav, you haven't come to closure, and you probably might be right, but my motivation kind of decreased, if that makes sense.
Totally.
My wife, I mean, I've talked about it here, is that my marriage for the first 25 years was probably, I was a horrible husband. I was not a very good father because I was so career motivated. I would start on the Todd and Tyler show at 6 o'clock in the morning. I would go straight to work and work at the television station till 11 o'clock at night. Nobody ever saw me. I traveled all the time. I was selfish. But you go to highly motivated athletes, there's always something that triggers it. They always kind of paint these wonderful stories, but there's something in the back of your brain that is triggering your motivation. And you bring up that story with Dale Earnhardt. That makes a lot of sense to me, man. You could probably even say Dale Jr., right? I know they had a good relationship, but he was pretty motivated on the track as well.
All right, so if you're a horrible father, don't worry, you're doing great for your kid because your kid's going to be wonderful. The worse father you are, the better off your kid is. And the adverse is true also. If you are a wonderful father, then that's horrible for you. Because I had a great dad, but you know what the problem was with that? He made life look too easy. This son of a. He goes out there and makes it look so easy. Then I come out here, I'm stubbing my toe every 3 days. What's the who sang that song In the Living Years? Is that like Mike and the Mechanics or something like that?
Mike and the Mechanics. What did he originally with Genesis, right? Was it he?
I don't know. We're going to look this up. I don't know.
In the Living Years is a song that I can't listen to. Because
I'm sorry.
No. It's fine because
but there's a line in there. Every generation blames the one before.
Yes, because that's a song about his relationship with his father.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't matter what kind of dad you are. Your kid's gonna blame you. My dad, I had everything. And I spent many years going, it's his fault. Why? I don't know. I can't figure it out. It's not my fault. It's not my fault that I'm a screw up. Whose fault is it? It's got to be somebody else's fault. And I think that's what. Now there are real issues. You've watched this Dale Earnhardt thing, Travis. I know your story, and you go, "Oh, there are." That stuff stays with you and motivates you and makes you and drives you. But I'm just saying, even if you're out there kicking butt and doing it great, and you're a wonderful dad, unfortunately, from what I have seen, at some point in time, it's your fault.
But I do agree, and I think this is where I reached a point, and I'm sure Dale Jr. did too. There reaches a point where you become your own person, right? And you have to accept everything in your life is you can only blame for so long, because you reach an age where you're like, hey, you're an adult. You either have to move on or you live in this low point that you'll never get out of.
Exactly right. At some point, you're older than the person who is making those mistakes in your life.
Yes.
And you got to, I mean, dude, like I do that age thing. I started doing that again, dude. My dad was a different cat in Vietnam at 18. So when I'm 19, 20 years old and doing nothing, smoking pot and fixing people's heat,
dropping out of
DMAC, and he wants to pop my head off my shoulders, I look back at that and I go, yeah, he should have.
Yeah, because all he really wanted was the best for you.
Yes,
right?
And the best from me. And looking back on it, God, I was a long ways from that.
It's funny that you bring this up today, because we were out driving around last night, and there was a big semi truck on a side street, and it said student driver on it. And Greta's like, what is that? I go, well, that's Metro Community College and their CDL license. I go, that's a student driver learning how to drive a truck. And my wife goes, did you ever drive a truck? I said, oh no. And she goes, well, why not? I go, I sat in the seat a lot. I played with the gear shift a lot, acted like I was shifting gears. I said, if I ever, and I know this, and she disagreed with me, but I said, and I've said this before, but I said, if I would have started driving truck, I would have liked it. She goes, no, you wouldn't have. You're too good at what you do. You would have never wanted to drive a truck. I said, there's no better feeling than sitting in the captain's chair, and you're sitting, 8 feet up in the air. You're looking over everybody. There's something about that power of sitting in a semi truck to go, man, I'm going to be an over the road trucker.
For most of the day, you're your own boss.
Yes.
You get to make, you've got directions and you've got places you got to go, but for the most part, you're by yourself and on your own, and there'd be an independence and a confidence that would grow from that. This is the thing with old farmers, dude. I've talked about this when I used to go on that tractor ride, and you'd be around these old farmers. Sometimes you'd be like, God, these old farmers are kind of tough. They're kind of mean. I thought the old farmers would be nice. It took a while for you to figure out what was going on. You were dealing with guys who had 50 years, 70 years of this thing happen. Freedom, confidence. They made their own decisions, and that worked. What are you going to tell me? What are you going to tell me? I got 700 acres in Buchanan County. I'm a millionaire 8 times over, and I'm wearing blue jeans older than you. What are you going to tell me? And that's God smacking you in the face, going, "Shut up, shut up." Should we just listen for a while, learn something?
So this Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Dale Earnhardt Sr. documentary is on Prime. Is that
dude? I think so.
It's all right.
It's on a streaming service. It's
on the many out there.
That I can promise you. I did not watch it at a movie theater.
Well, I subscribe to Paramount Plus. I subscribe to Peacock. Dude. I subscribe to Apple TV. I subscribe to Netflix. I subscribe to Prime. So I something tells me I'm going to be able to find it somewhere.
It's on Prime, and it's on Prime. It's a 4-part documentary series. And it's just called Earnhardt.
And the reason we came to this discussion of going fast at 7 o'clock today, Scott McLaughlin, an IndyCar driver who will be driving at the Iowa Speedway in July on the IndyCar circuit, is in town today. He's going to join us at 7 o'clock. He's a New Zealander.
He's in town?
Yes, he's going to be at the Iowa Cubs game tonight. He's going to be throwing out the first pitch, and he's in town to do, I believe, some testing, but also kind of the press circuit. But he's performed well at the Iowa Speedway, and he's going to be joining us around 7 o'clock. I love the accent. There's something about a New Zealand / Australian accent that's just, it's fun to listen to.
Is it offensive to put the two together like that?
It might be. We should ask him that. Say, do people ever think you're Australian because of the accent when you're actually New Zealand? A New Zealander.
And then I think this question is like, see, can you say that?
I think so. We'll ask him.
I don't know if you can. That's what I was going to say. There's questions we can't ask. Can you ask somebody if something's offensive? Is that offensive to ask if something's offensive? Did I just offend you by asking if that's offensive? Oh my God, I'm sorry. Can you? I don't know, dude. I don't know. That I'm with you. That entire world, that half of the world is a mystery to me.
I've always wanted, now Abigail has visited Australia. I've always wanted to go to like Auckland, New Zealand, those places. But man, that's a long plane flight. That's a long time on a plane.
You've got New Zealand looks unbelievable.
It does. Looks spectacular.
Otherworldly. Isn't that where like Lord of the Rings and they shoot movies like they shoot those movies in that if they want it to look like it's on another planet, they go to New Zealand.
Yeah, I believe the people that shot Lord of the Rings, there were four movies. I think they like lived there for like 10 years because Peter Jackson just said, "Hey, next movie. Get a 2-week vacation. We'll come back and start the Two Towers. Then we'll shoot 2 versions or 2 episodes of Return of the King." When Lord of the Rings 1 should have won the Oscar, but they waited till Return of the King to win the Oscar. But Scott McLaughlin going to be joining us at 7 o'clock to talk about the upcoming IndyCar race at the Iowa Speedway, July 11th through the 13th. And of course, Sukup is the sponsor this year, and it'd be good to talk some going fast. And we like to talk about other things, like is it offensive to call you a Kiwi?
Maybe we should Google that before we ask.
Hey, we got a question for you. We don't know because we're dumb Americans.
So Scott McLaughlin, out of the box, rapid fire.
Is there a derogatory term that like Europeans or New Zealanders or Australians call Americans?
Yankee.
I don't find that offensive though.
I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters if you find it offensive. I think it matters what's the point or purpose of it. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have just jumped to that. Fat. I know they call us fat a lot.
Fat. Well, because we are
lazy, stupid. What else does do we let them get away with while we protect their asses around the world? Yeah, they call us a lot of things.
I see what you did there. I'm hoping the people out there that are listening to the show, and you can call it 515-517-2303, or you can let us know in the chat. Ross was perplexed during our pre-show meeting. Instead of talking about the rundown that I have prepared for today and the rabbit holes that he has prepared to go down today, we were talking about Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling. Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling, a great sponsor of the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. And they have some commercials that run during the commercial breaks.
Yeah.
And Ross was trying to figure out the lyrics to one of the commercials where there's a popular song that is it for the, I don't think it's for the orange cream.
No, it's just the regular Coke. It's the red commercial because the orange cream one has the Mariah Carey song playing.
That's right.
I'm so into you. That one, right?
Yes.
Then there's another one that plays, and it's just the Coke, and it's a little bit more of like a little bit more of a dance beat, and I can't tell if it says, see, look, the two guys, Charlie and Tyler, are both saying the opposite things now. I can't tell if it says, you got me falling hard, sweet baby,
Or
you've got me falling hard.
High, sweet baby.
Yeah.
And who sings that? Is that a popular song, or is that just a jingle?
It's you. I felt this. It's got to be a song because they use the Mariah Carey one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you're right. It's there's even confusion among listeners. And that is it you got me falling hard, or is it you got me feeling high?
Flying high.
Flying high.
It's either you got me flying high, and now Tyler says it's you got me feeling high. This is going to be one of those things. You're going to hear what your brain wants to hear.
Laurel or Yanni? Is that what it was? Laurel.
Oh, Yanni, and Laurel. We can hear the same thing and hear different things. We can see the same thing and see different things. The blue dress, gold dress thing. It's wild. Like that. I love that those two things exist in our lifetime because it's proof right in front of us that reality is not the same for all of us. It's so weird. You and I can go and experience the exact same thing and then come together and go, dude, did you see that blue dress say Yanni? And you'll go, no, I saw a white dress say Laurel. Oh, I thought we saw the same thing. Well, my thing was really cool. No, my thing was cooler. Oh, 6, no 9. No, 6, no 9. We just saw the same thing. We just saw it and perceived it different. Reality's weird, dude. Now. Did you know gravity is not what we think it is?
Well,
did you know this?
I don't know. I don't know if I can actually define gravity, except that it keeps us grounded.
Nobody can. And you know what? This is the fact of it. It's only a theory. I don't want to get. I'm not a flat earther by any stretch. But gravity is.
The Earth's flat.
But I'm also not one of those round earthers either. No, I'm kidding.
No, I'm a hollow earther. I can go to the Antarctic and go straight up. There's a hole that leads me to the.
There's my 622 rabbit hole for you. But anyway, I digress.
So at some point during the show, when we take a commercial break, that's going to pop on, and we're all going to listen real close. A lot of people saying "falling hard," and I believe that's what I said, and I believe you thought it was "flying high" because you started singing. I go, "Isn't it falling hard?" And you're like, "Well, that's what I can't figure out."
So I just sing both. I go, you got me flying high, sweet baby, you got me falling hard for you. Then I can do both.
See, and can it be both?
And can't it be both? Can't we all just get along? Jay says, Jay has been on me to watch the Surviving Ohio State documentary.
That's on Max. I own
on HBO.
You know, I clicked on the icon the other day, and you have to be in a mood because it's surviving the sexual abuse scandal amongst the wrestling team at Ohio State. And sometimes I'm just not ready for heavy stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's
I know exactly what you mean.
I have to be in the mood, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be in a mood to watch another sexual abuse scandal documentary. I should watch it because I'm sure there's a lot of information in there, but it's one of those things where, like, man, I want my days to be uplifting. I want to be happy. I don't want to get done going, I don't want to get done going, this is the sickest world that we could possibly live in. That people are just so evil.
Trav, I don't necessarily know that it's just the wrestling team. I don't think it was just the wrestling team. I think that this guy I think he did this to Ohio State athletes because they say there are thousands of victims from him.
And if it happened at Ohio State, Who knows where else this happened over the course of time?
That's the other thing. We found out about Larry Nassar, and everybody went, oh my God, Penn State or Michigan State. We found out about what was Creep's name? What was Sandusky? Jerry Sandusky. And everybody went, oh my God, Penn State, Michigan State, wait, Ohio State. And all of a sudden, if you're paying attention, your head's spinning. You're going, wait a minute. It's all around us. People are wicked.
I don't know how long of a documentary, but if it, it's probably going to be an hour and a half, 2 hours long, and it's like, or it might be multiple episodes. But I'm like, man, I'm just not in the mood for that. I have to mentally prepare to watch said documentary.
I'm with you on that, Trav. I completely agree with you. And dude from Iowa asks, is Iowa better? Well, they haven't got caught. This is that's dude, you're preaching to the choir on that one. And I think you're probably putting it on a tee for me, right? Because this is why I say no pedestals. Don't ever point your finger. You don't know what kind of glass house you're living in. This is also why I very seldomly wear the. We could do this if we really zoom out. You can do this with tons of institutions. Is Iowa better? Dude, I guarantee you there are people that go, what about the Rabdo thing? Didn't you guys have to fire a coach because he was a blatant racist? Didn't you, blah, 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 blah. Now, as an Iowa fan, do you go, well, no, hold on.
You don't understand.
And I guarantee you that's what they do at Baylor. And that's what they're doing. That's what they did. This is why you had people. I mean, Penn State, we all know what happened there. Michigan State was a little bit different because Larry Nassar never wore the uniform. Nobody ever bought a Larry Nassar jersey. So it was real easy to have the fall guy. Penn State, that one was difficult. Iowa, you get there's a lot of people that are like, Kirk Ferentz has never done anything wrong. Like his neighbor sued him. No. Kirk Ferentz never did anything wrong. Guy's a saint.
A lot of these stories have a repeat of and it's a formula, right? And that is, it's a person of trust, from a Nassar to a physical therapist or a team doctor at Ohio State, where you just assume, well, the doctor knows best, right? And you build that, you get them to a level of trust. You keep moving in a different direction, and before you know it, you look back and go, well, hold on for a second. I think I'm getting abused here. There's something not normal about this.
You've at least seen the trailer for Surviving Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
And Travis, it's the absolute power. That was always the fight with hey, the kid should be paid. One of the arguments was, hey, if you don't like the rules, don't go play. If they want to be a professional athlete, they have to. They have to go through the NCAA system if they want to be a professional athlete. In the overwhelming majority of cases in sports, you have to. And then you get in, and then you break that down and you go, okay, so I chose Ohio State as my place. Okay, now in order to play, you have to go through this guy. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, by the way, keep your butt tight. What? Yeah. You gotta shove it. Yeah.
Yeah, because a 20-year-old needs a prostate check. It's bizarre. Really, really bizarre.
Shut the door with the doctor. People even say, man, he felt creepy. Walked the door. I knew he was a weirdo. Walking in, the doctor goes, shut the door, please. Put your pants to your ankles. It's just not like that. It's not creepy. And then it takes a long time for 100 guys to go, hey, some weird stuff went down. Yeah.
We were talking about the Atlantic Coca-Cola bottling commercial, which we may hear in this break, or we will hear it sometime today. just remind that, Coca-Cola is one of the most recognized brands in America. And guess what? It's bottled right here in Iowa. Ross and I have seen the canning and bottling process of Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, Sprite, some of the most recognizable brands. It's made right here in Iowa. They know the value of hard work and doing the right things. That's why when you drink a Coke, you're drinking it right from something that's made right here in Iowa, which is super, super cool.
An important part of industry here in Iowa, man. They've done an amazing job of keeping that town of Atlantic, Iowa. I would say they wouldn't say keeping it afloat, but man, major part of an awesome part of Iowa, and proud sponsor here of us, and man, amazing products.
Locally made, nationally loved by Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Drink Coca-Cola. It's the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Brennan Santone here with Willis Cadillac. It is officially summer. Behind me I have a beautiful CT5 Blackwing with over 600 horsepower and drift metallic. It is available on our show floor. We also have EV Conquest on all of our EV models. We do have some lease loyalty just for owning a 2012 or newer Cadillac as well. And also we have gotten several new CT4s and 5s in. Come check out this summer what we got going on over at our Clive location, or check us out at williscadillac.com.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Summer's here, and that means extra miles on your car. With road trips, summer activities, and more, stop in now and get a vehicle inspection to make sure your Land Rover is in the best shape possible. We'll even throw in $25 off an oil change. Give us a call or head online at LandRoverDesMoines.com to schedule your appointment today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Rush Radio listeners, of course, we have a new way for you to find the show. This is specifically for Apple iPhone users. You've had a hard time finding us on the app because, well, we don't have an Apple app. We have an Android app. But you can now use the free TuneIn app to bring us right into your car. That's right. Just download the free TuneIn app. When you go to TuneIn and you sign up for the free app, just search The Rush Radio Show. You'll see our logo pop up. Boom, we're right there. We'll be part of your Apple CarPlay. Make it really easy to find. Just bookmark us. Boom. Every time you get in the car, plug us in. Right there. Rush Radio Show. Boom, 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 boom. I like it. TuneIn app. Just search The Rush Radio Show. That simple. Hey, we want to say congratulations to Allison Rudolph. She is this week's winner of our $50 gift certificate to the Iowa Fireworks Farm. And Allison was really cool. They let her know yesterday that she won the $50 gift certificate. And she wrote back right away and just said, hey, I listen to the show every single day. And happy that you and I are back together. Of course, we've been back together for 6 months now. And it's just 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. 5 months. 5 months. Sorry, my math is off. It's that public school math that I have. But Allison said she listens every single day and looking forward to having some fireworks to celebrate the 4th of July. We'll be talking more about the Iowa Fireworks Farm later on in the show. And Wade from the Iowa Fireworks Farm is going to be joining us on Friday, I believe. Friday. And talk about he's going to be live from the store.
That's what I was going to ask. Okay, good deal. Good.
He's going to be live from the store.
Can
6,000 square feet.
Did you find it? Can he send us like one of those, a URL to one of the videos of one of the, so that we can show fireworks?
I could ask him now. Say, hey, can you just send me a
couple
link.
videos of some of that? Yeah, your best sellers.
Yeah. Send us one of the rabbit hole. That's what we want. We want to see what the rabbit hole looks.
That one was about 30 seconds, if I remember right.
30 seconds is pretty good for a I mean, considering that most like major shows are 18 minutes long, I mean, if you go to a major show, it's usually 18 to 20 minutes long. If one cake is 30 seconds, that's a pretty good display.
That's enough time for it to go off for a while. You to look over at your wife and go, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look back, goes off again, and then you go, that's neat. Happy 4th of July. Love you, kids. America.
Yeah. What was that movie? America. Look, yeah. America.
Oh, that's Team America.
Yeah, Team America.
It was from the South Park guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Team America. That one a movie, dude.
Like little puppets, right? Done with little puppets. There was a good sex scene in there, though. You're like, I shouldn't really find this
Jesus,
erotic.
you are so freaking weird. Are you serious?
Yes.
There was a good sex scene in the Puppet movie?
Yes. You don't remember that?
No, I swear to God, I don't. I remember the scene where the guy's like, there are 3 types of people in this world. There are dicks, there are pussies, and there are assholes. Remember that part?
I do. I'm getting a correction from my son Owen because he gets mad when because I said the TuneIn app is only for Apple users. That's not the case. If you have an Android app or a phone, you can also use the TuneIn app. And I wanted to be, highlight Apple users because there wasn't an app available, much like there is on Android where we have our own app. But I want to clarify, thanks to Owen reminding me, is that the TuneIn app is for everybody and it's free and it's easy to download and get it out there.
And a lot of people use CarPlay, so a lot of now available through that as well, right?
Yes. Yeah. So in the TuneIn app makes it easy with the CarPlay for both Android and Apple users. So very, very simple to download. Just search it, download it, and search the Rush Radio Show.
Hold on. Just pause for a moment, and then we'll get to Tyrese Haliburton.
Okay.
Because
Tyrese can wait. He's got a long year ahead of him. He can wait a little bit longer.
And I know other people have pointed this out, but I think that there's a mind-blowing moment here for some of us. Like, you just roll right past the fact that you're like, oh yeah, the doll sex scene in Team America. Remember that? To, oh yeah, my son's listening. He wants me to remind you about this technical issue. So anyway, back to Jessica Rabbit.
Corey says the sex scene with a Cleveland steamer and a golden shower, which makes it even more funny because of the puppets.
I'm sorry, guys. I remember parts of this movie. I do not remember that. How?
Yeah, how do you forget that part?
How do you remember? Why do you remember that part?
Because I remember the sickest, grossest, most politically incorrect stuff about most movies.
I remember the funny dialogue.
Mike says the vomit scene that lasted forever was the most memorable.
Yeah. I don't know. Tyrese Haliburton.
So it's confirmed he ruptured and tore his right Achilles tendon. He had surgery yesterday. He tweeted last night, and it was a long tweet. Yeah, he must have been in that post-anesthesia fog. You know when you come out of anesthesia, you're like, I think the first thing he says, "Give me my phone. I need to reach out to the fans of Indianapolis and of the NBA." I mean, it was like a short-term paper that he wrote last night. And some of it, you're under that anesthesia fog, aren't you?
Did you know that, Travis? Do you know the term TLDR?
No.
Too long. Didn't read. I opened it, and I was like, I'm not in for this journey.
And it's a journey, right? You're like, okay, because you get about the halfway point, and you're like, God, now I got to finish the damn thing.
I read that. I hit the show more. I went, whoa. Back.
And I believe somebody asked him if he regretted playing while he was hurt. Of course, he had the calf strain, and he said, "Nope, I would do it again, and I would do it again."
Yeah,
because you don't know what's going to. He played one game on it, and in Game 6, he was fine. And I reached out to Dr. Jason Sullivan this morning to see if he could join us. Haven't heard back from him, but I guess my question to Dr. Jason would be, even if we can get him on tomorrow or later on in the week, is if you have a calf strain, does that necessarily lead to an Achilles tendon rupture? And I don't think, you look at the way he ruptured it. It's the way he moved, right? It was how he planted, and that just kind of twisted a little bit, and it's just pop.
That's a great question, Trav. I'm remembering a conversation we had with Dr. Sullivan years ago. There was they were trying to get into like predictive indexes on injuries, right? A doctor or a scientist or both were trying to figure out a way that they could monitor activity to know when an athlete was more likely to tear an ACL, MCL, LCL, whatever. That's a good question. I don't think that's as far off and as crazy as some people might go, oh my God, they're totally unrelated. I don't think that's crazy. That maybe, even if it's subconsciously, you're reacting in a different way because of that muscle strain in the calf. You're pushing off in a different way. I don't know. Who would maybe know is Dr. Sullivan.
It's Dr. Jason Sullivan.
Yes, that'd be a fun one to talk to. I don't think it's crazy to think that they might be in some way related. And I also think that his answer to that question is exactly right. First of all, we talked about this with Tyrese before the finals even started. This guy's a gamer. He's going to show up. If he's hurt, he's going to do everything he can to be on the court. No doubt about that. And I think that would have applied to any big game, but it's NBA Finals.
And that's what he said. He goes, you don't know when you're going to get an opportunity to be back in this position.
Reggie Miller. I guarantee you, Reggie Miller at some point talked to that locker room and said, guys, I got here once. I'm one of the best players of my generation. I got to this point one time in my life, and I didn't win it.
And by the way, Tyrese Haliburton said even before Game 6, if I can walk, I'm playing. Right. There was no and
which is an athlete. That's a cliche thing to say. It's an athlete thing to say. There's some truth to it. Of like the team is also, Travis. I think that in that moment you risk it. Right? Let's risk it for the biscuit, baby. We're going to get Tyrese ready for tonight.
Yeah, we're not talking about a regular season game that is, I don't want to say meaningless, but there's a difference between, hey, I've got 40 more games ahead of me.
Yeah.
I need to make sure I'm ready for the postseason push. You're in the NBA Finals. You're in Game 6. You're in Game 7. If you're healthy, or at least 85%, right, you have to play. And that's what he's saying. He's saying, listen, I would do it again, and I would do it again after that. And I did it for I thought it was interesting. He said, and he started first by saying, I do it for the city. I mean, what a way to just win over the fans to go, you know what? I'm an Indianapolis guy.
Wait, Tyrese Haliburton endeared himself to a community?
It's funny how that works out, isn't it?
How? Oh, by being himself and letting his personality shine. And again, is he pandering there a little bit? Yes. But don't we think that that's pretty much genuinely Tyrese Haliburton?
Yes.
when you're around me, you go, God, Ross is a cheesy, schmoozy guy. Jesus.
I mean,
and then over time, you go, oh crap, that's just Ross.
You
That's
can only
Tyrese.
fake it for so long, right? I mean, pretty soon you go, oh, there's nothing genuine here. And I'm not saying Tyrese Haliburton is perfect because, like you said, if you build somebody up too much, they're going to let you down at some point.
No pedestals.
Yes, no pedestals. We're not putting Tyrese on a pedestal, but the fact that he goes on and does McAfee all the time, he should.
Travis, that's a great spot to freeze. I hope everybody else is seeing. I hope everybody else is seeing the same thing I am with Trav. Tyrese is special. Tyrese, and I've always said another guy that's doing a camp right now or setting up for his camp, George Niang. Jamie Pollard should bring George Niang and Tyrese Haliburton back to talk to freshmen. Talk to the incoming freshmen for the football team, the basketball team, really for any sport that's going to be out in the public. The golf team, even. The wrestling team, certainly, at Iowa State should be a part of this. Bring these guys in and say, how did you do this? How did you connect with the community in this way? And I do think that there is a... Travis, and you're back with us now. I see that.
Yes.
Thank you.
I really haven't. It was weird. I went from like full bars to nothing. I don't know how that just happened.
And he is, everybody's like, he needs to do Ethernet cable. He needs to do the Starlink. He's working on it, folks. I promise. And I saw the progress. We're close. We are close. There is something that, first of all, there's something that can't be taught that Tyrese Haliburton and George Niang have. While we're just talking about those two specific ones, but like Caitlin Clark is the best example of this, right? Could Caitlin Clark just walk into the freshmen at Iowa and go, okay, ladies, here's how you do it? No, she can't walk in and go, all right, guys, here's my magic dust. Now you all get to be Caitlin Clark as well. And everybody's going to love you and millions of dollars are going to flow your way. But I do think that there's something that like George, Tyrese, certain athletes can say, hey, here's what you do. Here's how you engage with people. Maybe it's as simple as watch me at an event. I don't know. I mean, Travis, can it be taught? First of all, maybe that's the first question. Can this thing that Tyrese Haliburton does that endears himself to people?
Magnetism.
We're Iowa fans. We love the guy. There are Cyclone fans that love Caitlin Clark. They didn't for a while, right? And for a while you go, he didn't wear my colors. She didn't wear my colors. I don't like her. And then you go, yes, something endearing about it. Can it be taught?
You could probably teach a little bit, but a lot of that's just the way you are as a human being. Some people feel comfortable doing that. Some people don't feel comfortable doing that. Some people are very guarded. Some people are, you know what? I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to be my own person. So you could teach, you could say do it, but doesn't mean it's going to translate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't think it does. I'm not sure it can be taught. I mean, when I'm genuinely asking the question, I don't know the answer. Because I've always thought it was a good idea to do it, and there's a part of me that goes, there's an X factor, and you can't teach them. I mean, look, the NBA is a great example. We talk about a lot of these athletes that are going through my head right now. Mike Trout, SGA. Why isn't he as well known as Ja Morant? Edwards. I mean, like, you've got so many other people that are more well known than the MVP. Why? X factor.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
Because and if you have to be taught and it's not natural for you to come off like that, it's going to look almost uncomfortable or not natural. You'll see this trepidation, like, I feel like I should be doing this. And I think it's just the way you come off. People can see if it's genuine or not genuine.
That's the word. John just had it there too. They're being genuine. That's it. Can't teach it. Can't teach it.
Now, he had a picture of himself in his he just got out of surgery. You can tell that his foot's all wrapped up. He may miss the entire season next year. I mean, that's how serious of an injury this is. They're not putting a timetable on his return, but if he does come back, probably not going to be till after Christmas, maybe late in the season for the Pacers. Just because, what you do with your feet on a basketball court is so important. And if there's one thing you don't want to do is come back too early. You know, I know we talked about how Aaron Rodgers was able to get himself back in this. Aaron Rodgers was a non-factor when he came back, and he may have been, medically cleared. But Tyrese Haliburton is 25 years old. Even if he were to miss the entire season, he's got a lot of basketball left in him, and you want to make sure you are 100% back before you are able to just take the floor and perform like you did this year. I mean, this is not something that I would rush. But I respect him for saying, I wouldn't sit out. I'm glad I played. Because you know what you can't do as an athlete? You can't sit there and worry going into a game whether you're going to get injured. If you're playing worried about getting injured, then you're worrying about too many other things.
Yeah.
But and thought it was interesting. You thought the same thing as, God, that's a long tweet. You think somebody typed that for him, or do you think he said, give me my phone?
No, I think that's all him. I think you're probably closer to the truth with the anesthesia was still coursing through his body. He's an emotional guy. You know what I mean? You can see that. Wears his emotions on his sleeve. Usually very happy guy. And yeah, that's the type. I feel like that was just raw emotion on that. Again, I didn't read it. I saw it. It's Tyrese pouring his heart out.
Well, you read to the point where it says, show more. And then you stop reading.
I briefly read about another 8 words, and I was like, what am I getting into here? I was laying in bed.
For a guy that likes rabbit holes, I thought you would have been like, I'm going through this whole thing.
I see, but when you get really good at rabbit holes, you can see how big of a rabbit is in that hole by the size of the hole. You get really good at identifying it. And I saw it and went, a little bunny in there. Cool.
So what you're saying is you're the king of rabbit holes. If anybody, you can decipher yay or nay when it comes to that.
I have a pretty good sense of when something is going to be interesting to me, right? I think most people do. When something scratches me where I itch, I know it. You watch my face. You are able to see me go, oh, and you go, uh-oh, Ross just found something. I wish I could read people as well as people read me sometimes.
Okay, yeah, because you're pretty easy to read.
I'm a weather beacon. I had a teacher that used to say that to me all the time. Like, Ross, you walk in the door, I know if you're in a good mood or a bad mood. Most of the time, I'm in a good mood. I'm a 90% guy, right? I'm in a good mood 9 out of 10 times. It's that one day I'm just a butthead.
And you're entitled to be a butthead every now and then. I will say you're rarely a butthead to me. Though I can tell when you're if anything, I know when you're preoccupied. Like I'll call you and say, hey, bud. And then it's like, oh, you're preoccupied.
That's wild. You can pick it up on like that.
Yeah.
That's wild. Mark will say, because I'm very much ADD, and we'll be in the middle of a conversation and I'll hear Mark go, I've lost Ross. It's like a gong goes off. I used to listen to a lot of Alan Watts lectures, and that was his way of like, now, come to this moment again. Quit daydreaming. And I'll be willing to be a conversation, and I'll kind of lose interest, and all of a sudden I'll hear in the ether of my head, I'll hear Mark go, we've lost Ross. Whoop.
And you know what your reply should that? Say something interesting. You've lost me because you're no longer interesting. I get lost in meetings all the time because if it doesn't pertain to my department or me specifically, and I have no effect on what they're talking about, I will drift.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think that's human nature to go, okay, how does this affect me? Is it going to affect my employees or my department? And if the answer is no, it's like, okay, I should probably pay attention, but boy, I can scroll really.
But I have more important things to worry about.
Yeah. I got other things going on in my life.
Anyway, I wish Joe Lee says she can read her daughter and husband's moods a mile away too. I wish I could read people as well as people read me. But
well, I can officially say that I know you're in a good mood today. I know you're in a good mood today.
Thank you. Tony wants to know if anybody remembers the weather beacon code. Connie McBurney. I remember the commercials that would say, Connie said there'd be days like this.
Yeah, I was
Remember
working at KCCI at the time.
Did you
Remember,
really?
I worked at KCCI. I worked with Connie. She wouldn't remember me from Adam because I was just a peon intern. But I remember when they were cutting the Connie said there would be days like this promos. What's the weather beacon red?
Warmer weather is ahead.
Weather beacon white, colder weather in sight.
Good job. Weather beacon flashing night or day. Precipitation's on the way. Weather beacon green. No change in weather foreseen. Weather beacon blue. Don't go out. You'll get the flu. I made up that one.
You made that one up. I know they took the weather beacon down, but with today's LED lights, they should be able to replace it.
Oh, that'd be sweet. For people that don't know what the weather beacon was, so as you drive down 235, KCCI has a giant red and white tower just on the south side of the freeway. It's just on the north side of downtown. That weather beacon can be seen from most of the metro area. And the top third of that weather beacon had this array of lights on it. Not just one light flashing on the top of it. I mean about a 30-foot, maybe even longer, probably longer than 30 feet. Probably 30 yards of lights, and they would flash in this code. It was always on. As soon as it went dark, the weather beacon came on, and it told you what the weather was going to be for tomorrow, and that was the code. If it
Simple marketing is what it was. Disguised as keeping you informed and keeping you safe. But really, it was just effective marketing.
It was very good.
515-517-2303. When we come back, we're scheduled to be joined by Scott McLaughlin.
That's happening at 7 here?
Yeah, 7 o'clock. We get him from like 7 to 7:20. In fact,
very nice.
Scott's jumping on right now. We'll take a break, and we'll be joined by Scott when we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hey, everybody. Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity. We have some great stuff going on this month. Right now, you can get $4,000 off a brand new QX80, 2.9% out to 60 months. On top of that, QX60s are doing 1.9 clear out to 60 months, 2.9 at 72, and even an incentivized rate at 4.9 at 84 months. For more information, come see us in our showroom or visit us online at willisinfinity.com.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Summer's here, and that can mean extra miles on your car. With road trips, summer activities, and more. Your Volvo will endure extra strain. Stop in now and get a vehicle inspection to make sure your Volvo is in the best shape possible. We'll even throw in $25 off an oil change. Give us a call or head online to willisvolvocars.com to get scheduled today.
Bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along this morning. We're going fast. We're going really, really fast. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or the new TuneIn app, download the TuneIn app. Search the Rush Radio Show, and you will be listening to us wherever you are at, including on your Android Auto or your Google or your Apple CarPlay. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and start leaving your comments. And, of course, you can follow us on all those social media channels, X, Facebook, and Instagram. We started the show talking about racing. Went from NASCAR into a little bit of IndyCar talk, talking about Scott McLaughlin going to be joining us, and he joins us now on the Rush Radio Show. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for getting up and joining us, man. Yeah.
We've got a big day ahead promoting the race here coming up in a couple of weeks. So, it's always exciting coming back to Des Moines, and, everyone's really passionate about IndyCar racing around here. So, really excited for it.
You've had some pretty good luck at Iowa Speedway. I mean, you've done really well at Iowa Speedway. What is it about Iowa Speedway that you like? Because it's a short track for an IndyCar.
Yeah, it's a little bull ring. They call it the fastest short track on the planet. It's pretty cool to have that in your backyard. But I don't know. I think we've had great cars here as a team, and I've felt really comfortable coming here, and I've done a lot of laps here. And like you said, it's a short track, so it's easy to do a lot of laps here. So, I've got a lot of experience here, understand what the car feels like. And for me, I don't know. It just sort of, I love oval racing, and this is one of the ovals on the calendar that everyone enjoys coming to.
All right. Can we start there, Travis? You love oval racing, but man, you really got your start in that V8 supercar, Australian V8 supercar series, which for the most part, it's not rally racing because you're not on dirt, but that's mostly road courses, right? How did that translate from that beginning into now loving oval courses and having such success in ovals? Is it similar?
Well, it's crazy because I for sure, road and street courses were basically it. I never raced on an oval until I got to IndyCar. And I being a touring car driver, I always thought, the way that I would probably be brought over here if I ever got the chance. I always wanted to be in America, but that was the opportunity that Roger Penske gave for me. I drove for him in Australia. And he took me to IndyCar. He asked me if I wanted to race IndyCar. He thinks it'd be because IndyCar races on a little bit more road and street with a dash of ovals compared to NASCAR season, where it's it's basically 30 ovals almost, give or take, on a 36 calendar season. So, for me, it was a lifestyle thing. It was also like a chance for me to be able to be at home on a road and street course, and then learn a couple of really fast, cool ovals like Iowa, like the Indianapolis 500, and it was a really cool opportunity. And I'm so grateful I came over here and raced IndyCar.
When you race, do you prefer the short track? Do you prefer the super speedway? Do you prefer a road course? Where do you feel most comfortable in those three different ones?
I think I'm better on road and street course. It's just what I'm used to, but I think I'm getting really good on oval too, and I actually really do enjoy oval racing, regardless if it's short track, speedway. I'd have to say I wouldn't say most comfortable on an oval, but I probably enjoy it more. I just enjoy, I guess, because I haven't done a huge amount of it, and I'm just, the intricacies of it all. It's fun, and I'm enjoying racing on them, and hopefully we do more of it.
That just seems counterintuitive. The intricacies of the oval, as opposed to the road course, which is constantly back and forth. It would seem on the surface that the oval is much more hit your left turn, hit your lines, hit your marks, keep going.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the first thing you got to think about is the speed we're doing. So, at Iowa, we're doing over sort of 180, 200 mile an hour, on a track that's only 18 seconds long for us, which is kind of crazy. And then, in between that, so you're traveling at a couple of football fields a second. So you're trying to distinguish, where's the grip, and finding that at such a fast rate is a lot of fun. We use the banking at Iowa. We try and stay out, get out our wings and out of the dirty air, because it's like a airplane. When we're following behind a car, you have turbulence, but we're an upside down airplane. We try and stick to the ground, not take off. So it's a good thing.
So we got a couple of listeners asking. They want us to ask about the sprint car team you sponsor back in your home country, and do you like? I mean, you sponsor a team. Do you ever get in the sprint cars, and would you ever come to Knoxville and race the Nationals?
Well, the racing side, I'll never be able to race right now. That's part of my deal. I'm not allowed to race on dirt. That's just how it is. But I love sprint car racing. I grew up around it. I love the Outlaws. I love, the High Limit series that Kyle Larson's got going on. I think, for me, it's not a sponsorship. I actually own the car. So it's like I've got to deal with drivers just as my team boss has to deal with me. So it's fun. It's just it's an extra curricular activity that I have outside of it. But it's I feel a fair way away from it because it's down under. But I'm going back to Australia in October, so hopefully I can catch up with the team and see what's going on there.
Do you know? Have you ever heard of Wade Ogner?
Yes.
So Wade's been
Wade
with us
very well.
Yeah, Wade's a great dude, man. He comes back and he travels the country. He's fallen in love with American football because Iowa had an Australian punter. But I was just wondering, because he comes on our show when he's back in America, and that dude's passionate about sprint car racing, but he's just got this bigger than life personality as well.
Oh, and his voice is incredible. Actually, Wade was one of my first ever race car races in Australia. He was the commentator of that series. So we have a he's known me for a very long time, and it'll be funny. Hopefully he says all good things about me.
You've got some good memories here in Iowa with your success at Newton. One of our listeners wants to know about one of your memories up in Wisconsin, Road America. He asked if that was the hottest you've ever been. The broadcasters were saying it was 137 on the track.
Yeah, that was hot. I probably would say that, definitely in an IndyCar, that was the hottest I've ever been. That was when I got out of the car and you just feel like you're standing in front of a hairdryer. It was no reprieve, but thankfully, Road America's 5-mile track, you got a lot of straights, so you have a lot of chances to sort of relax and cool yourself down a little bit. But it's seriously hard when you get out of the car and it's already really, really hot.
So we were talking at the beginning of the show because last night I started watching the Dale Earnhardt documentary on Prime, and man, as a kid growing up, that was my dad's favorite racer. That was the guy we were cheering for on the weekends. Who were the guys that were your kind of inspirations? Who were the guys that you watched as a kid that were your favorite drivers?
Oh, I've still got to watch that documentary. I want to watch that.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So when I was in Australia, a guy named Greg Murphy, he's from New Zealand. He was a famous sort of supercar driver growing up. He was my guy that I was a hero. He was my hero. But on the other side of the world, you could say Scott Dixon was my guy. So it's kind of crazy that I get to race a hero of mine, and I have a friendship with them. So I count myself lucky that I have friendships with both my heroes that I was growing up with. But they're great people and have been really influential on my career. But definitely when Scotty is in front of me in the racetrack, it's like dangling a little carrot in front of me. So I just really want to pass it. So it's fun.
You talked about the business side of it, how you're not allowed to drive on dirt. Some NASCAR guys, Ryan Larson comes in and drives the Outlaws a lot. But another part of the business side, we got to ask you this because it's been an interesting couple of weeks for you. You've lost your strategist. Just talk about, do they consult with you before that? I mean, just talk about the emotions you're going through losing one of your key team members.
Yeah, it's obviously that was a pretty crazy sort of period for our team, but we're so lucky. Like at Penske, we've got so much depth, and we have so many good people. There's 500 odd people that work at the team for all of NASCAR, IndyCar, sports cars. So, we have the chance to be able to pluck new people, new individuals, and put them in different roles and really help them spread their wings. You never want to see anyone go. The people that left, they're very good friends of mine and still are. But we had to make a change at some point, and moving forward, the guy that now is my strategist on my car is Ben Bretsman, who he's been my engineer since 22. I've known him since 2019, and he's probably one of my best friends off the track. So we have a great rapport there, and like I said, the depth there, and for all three cars to be able to just sort of pluck who we want out of each sort of program is a really good thing.
Man, what an interesting perspective that being a team owner also adds to this, because as a driver, I'm like, even as a strategist, I'm a racing guy, and I can't even tell you exactly where these jobs and what these roles are. How hard is it for you in this role to stay in that driver role and not kind of try to dabble into these other avenues that there's other experts that are taking care of?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I'm the QB, for the team. I'm the leader. I have to, and sometimes I have to call the plays, but most of the time the plays are called for me. But I've got to execute them. I've got to lead the guys and girls on the team to things aren't great right now for us as a team. Like we're struggling and we need to be better, but we know that things will turn. It's just a little bit of lady luck here or there, and things to go our way. And if I drop my head and talk to you guys in the media and they see me negative, it's not a good look. So, I've definitely want to be better. I want to win more races and be more competitive, but at the same time, you can't be negative about it. You just got to be like, we're going to get back on this horse. We know we can do it. We won Iowa here last year. We haven't forgotten how to drive or conduct a race. It's a matter of just putting things together and we'll be okay.
Dude, you got to watch the Dale Earnhardt documentary. He went in at your point at the same point in his career, he was going through this exact same stuff. I really do think you'd get some great inspiration out of that right now. I
really do want to watch that.
It's fantastic, man. I can tell already it'd be a good one for you right now.
So you mentioned you're the quarterback. I don't know this. I should, but I don't. From a strategist to engineers to pit crews, how many people actually make up your race team? Not Team Penske, but just how many people are on your team?
So my car is probably, give or take, 15 to 20 people per race come to the track. I work directly with, from an engineering perspective, people on my stand, probably there's half a dozen, 5 to 6 people, and then one person talking to me in the race. And then when I get onto the shop floor and where the mechanics are, there's a good 10 or so people there, sometimes more depending on the race weekend. So, look, directly, there's only one person talking to me on the racetrack. But when I get back into the trailer and we talk things and strategy and car setup and whatnot, there's a bunch of people that we talk to, and it's really professional.
All right, all right. You're going to be throwing out the first pitch today for the Iowa Cubs. Okay. A lot of times racers are not stick and ball sports guys. From New Zealand, you're not an American. Was baseball? Have you thrown a baseball before? Have you played baseball?
Luckily, I've thrown a lot of first pitches, which is a good thing. So, I'm excited. I've actually done the Chicago Cubs first pitch before, so the Iowa Cubs is going to be a good thing.
This is nothing. Nothing.
It'll be fine. But no, I played cricket when I was a kid. I was a wicket keeper, which is, I guess you could say, catcher. I'm a huge sports fan. Love NFL, love basketball, love baseball, love everything. And I've got I play a lot of golf, so I'm about just over a 6 handicap. So I'm sort of playing right now. So,
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm not your
time.
typical.
How do you have time to do that?
I have a lot of time to do that. You'd be surprised.
Are you going to play while you're in Iowa? Are you going to play a course?
No, I was going to play. We were going to play Whistling Straits yesterday in Road America before we flew down here, but didn't get a chance because the team had to go.
I was going to play Whistling Straits.
I know.
This course is.
I'm just trying to tick them off one at a time.
Okay, so a 6 handicap. I mean that's really
good golfer.
Good. What's the best or most famous course you've played? Have you played Augusta? Have you played
St. Andrews?
St. Andrews. What's the best course you've played?
Oh, I've played Augusta, which is a very, very amazing thing. Yeah. I haven't played St. Andrews. That's my next. Whistling Straits, St. Andrews, Sawgrass. I really want to try and get to. I haven't done those yet, but Augusta is everything you can dream.
All right, let me. We answer this. Did you have to pay for your round at Augusta?
No, I did not.
Okay. Yeah. Who sponsored you to get on? How'd you get on?
I can't say that, but I can. A very good friend, and he sometimes takes me to the Masters. We normally go down for practice rounds on the Monday, Tuesday, see the players, and then I head back home to Charlotte because it's only a drive from Augusta, and watch the tournament at home for the week, which is really cool.
Okay, what's the most famous PGA player you played around with?
So when we were at Augusta last, Tony Finau was heading into us, which was pretty crazy. So seeing that was nuts. I played a Pro-Am with Zach Johnson, which was pretty cool.
He's an Iowa guy. Went to college here in Des Moines.
He's an Iowa guy. Yes, we were talking about that. I was trying to get into a game, but to a race, but around this time it was always around the Rocket Mortgage Classic and stuff up in Detroit. So, but I guess you could. Jake Knapp. I've just played a little bit with him in Indy. He was pretty cool as well. But yeah, I can't really. Oh, Ryan Fox he's a guy that I text a lot because he's a Kiwi, so he's going pretty good on the tour.
You just answered a question for us. We were having this conversation about, is it derogatory to call somebody a Kiwi? And online it says it can be Kiwi is an acceptable term.
Oh yeah. Okay. Kiwi's so Kiwi is the national bird for New Zealand, but it's a bird that can't fly, and the whole reason that people say Kiwis can fly is because, like, people like myself or Scott Dixon or people, we try and put us on the world stage and say that we can fly,
So I want to go back to this golf thing. When you're golfing with PGA guys or even your buddies, are you golfing for money? Is there money?
Yeah. I never play for nothing, my man. There's always something. I play a lot of golf with Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace. They're good friends of mine from NASCAR side, and we play some pretty big skins matches from time to time. There's a couple of presses in there that get a little bit nerve-wracking, that's for sure.
Who's a better golfer, you, Blaney, or Wallace?
I'd have to say me right now. But like Blaney's got he's probably, I think he's about a 9, I reckon, 9 or 8. But he absolutely hits the skin off the ball. He's a very strong, like you'd think like a little guy, but he like pounds it like 300 plus. So it's impressive.
Is Blaney from Wisconsin, or am I mistaken that?
I believe he's got family in Iowa.
Oh, is that okay? Okay.
Yeah, and he's originally from Ohio. So
okay, Midwestern guys still. Yeah.
All
right.
Yeah.
So we asked this to all the drivers that come on. You like to go fast, and you're going well over 200 miles an hour at some point. Now, when you live in Charlotte, did you say you're living in Charlotte now? So have you ever been picked up for speeding, whether it's here in the States or in New Zealand or Australia? And if so, how fast were you going and what were you driving?
Yeah, I have been picked up. I was running late to a photo shoot that I had to get to for the team, and I got picked up. I think it was I can't remember. It was a 70 mile an hour, and I got done for 85. So it wasn't like crazy, but don't do that. But that's honestly the only ticket that I've got in America, and I can't remember the last time I had one in Australia, because Australia is actually, there's a lot of speed cameras, and you really can't speed in Australia. They're really strict over there, and it's not that they're not strict here, but it's very hard to speed and not get caught in the show.
What were you driving? And what are you driving? I mean, are you you're not an Impala guy? Are you driving like a Porsche? You driving a Vet? You driving a Mustang? What are you driving these days?
I wish I had a Vet because that would mean that I've won the 500. Because when you win the 500, you get to keep the pace car. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. But so I'm not buying a Vet until I win one. But no, I have a Chevy Tahoe. Very boring answer, but I like a free car is a good car, and Chevy are very good to us.
Here's what's funny.
Free car is a good car. I'm gonna keep. You're right. A free car is a good car.
Travis, here's an ironic part. So he's sponsored by Expel.
Yeah.
Our title sponsor is a very high class dealership here in Des Moines, Willis Automotive. They are the 3-time dealer of the year for Expel.
You know, I thought when I saw Willis Automotive, I was like, I feel like I've seen that before, and I've been sponsored by partners with Expel for 4 years now, and you know they're an incredible company, and that they wrap, you know, all my cars that I've had, they've wrapped them and looked after them. It's pretty amazing, I'm sure, and a lot of dealerships use them.
All right, Scott, we got to be respectful of your time. They told me we had you till 7:20, so it's 7:20 right now. That flew right on by. I tell you what, anytime you're back or anytime you can jump on, we'd love to. As you can tell, we just like to go off the rails and have any type of conversation. And
love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, what's your golf handicaps? You never told me that.
23.
Striking the ball. My biggest handicap is just ball striking, Scott.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Before one last question. You did golf Augusta. Did you shoot below 80?
Shot 82. Shot 82. 10 was my that's my best. I the first 80. I've got 84, 84, 82. So yeah, it's it was a tough round. 10 got me pretty bad. I birdied 8. I nearly my first round. I nearly holed out 6 par 3. I was 2 feet off the pin. I went over. I must have clipped the pin and landed, and didn't, because it was winter time when we played. It didn't roll back. It was sort of not as like Augusta like, you know. And the caddy said if that was summer, it would have been a hole in one. Imagine my first hole in one would have been there. Amazing.
Great. Oh.
Scott, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much, man. Best of luck to you. Hope we chat with you again soon.
Yep, appreciate having me on, guys.
You bet,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Thanks. Bye. Scott McLaughlin joining us on the Rush Radio Show. Wow. Good stuff there. I've golfed Augusta. Who sponsored you? I can't tell you.
3 times. 3 times I've played Augusta. He waited till the end to drop that. Well, the best I've done is 82.
Yeah. What if he's to the point where I don't want to golf Augusta? I really want to get on Sawgrass. I need to get on Whistling Straits.
You can watch the Masters, and on Saturday when they're making the cut, you can say to your buddies, yeah, I can feel that pain. I went 84, 84, 82 on that course. It can eat you up. It has its way with you. You guys, none of you know what I'm talking about. Sorry.
It's interesting how he can afford a vet, but he's like, I'm not getting a vet.
I love that
I
answer.
win the 500.
I didn't know the Indy 500 winner got the pace car.
Even did I. I always thought they put them in a museum or they sold them off.
Yeah. So does that mean when we've seen because we've all seen at some car show, like the 1985 Indianapolis 500 pace car.
Yeah.
Does that mean that Rick Mears sold his?
Either that or maybe it's a new thing. I don't know.
Or Al Unser Sr. was like, I've got 6 of these things. I don't know.
And RP brains, hey, you're throwing out the first pitch tonight. Yeah, I've thrown it out at Wrigley Field. I've thrown it out of Wrigley. Oh, okay. I guess Principal Parker, we won't give you any advice.
I've golfed Augusta and thrown out the first pitch at Wrigley Field. What the fuck am I doing here? Why am I talking to you guys? I should be the one asking you questions. Who are you? All right. Sean just helped us out. Each race has about 50 pace cars. They use them throughout the month of May.
Oh.
So no, AJ Foyt did not sell his
pace car. great marketing, though, because then you send them all around to the car shows, right?
I was almost right when I said the 1985 pace car, and I said Rick Mears did not sell his. Rick Mears won the 1984 Indy 500. Danny Sullivan won the 85 500. My favorite, Emerson Fittipaldi, he won in 1989 and 1993.
Man. Now, when you guys go buy your Iowa Speedway tickets and go to the IndyCar race 11th through the 13th of July, you have to be rooting for Scott McLaughlin, right? I mean,
we had some people, like our buddy JT wrote to me when he found out we were getting Scott on. He said, hey, this guy's got a great personality. He's got a little bit of David Faraday in him. And I was like, oh,
it started coming out too, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
How about that he knew who Wade was? You know?
I knew. When you asked that question, I was like, oh, yeah. Because, Travis, the Australian sprint car world into Iowa, it's a big avenue, but it's a tight avenue. All those guys are acquaintances. I almost said friends. They know each other. Yeah, because small bridge to go from Auckland to Knoxville.
And then he talks about how, and if you're wondering, there may be people listening who don't know who Wade Ogner is. So we first met Wade, or we've never met him. We've talked to him several times. He's a sprint car announcer, goes all around the world, comes to the United States late summer, early fall for the Nationals. But he was at an Iowa football game and he was listening to Sound Off one night and he called the show, and then he became like a regular guest when he was back, and he'd come on the old show. And I'm going to reach out to him and say, hey, when you're back in, we've never seen you. We would like to just have you come on the show.
And JT, I'm sorry, I said David Faraday. It was Steve Elkington that JT said. So yeah, but you could definitely see some of that personality. That was fun.
But you know what you get about Scott, because you asked him, you know, race car drivers aren't usually ball and stick guys. You could just tell by him he's an athlete, right? I mean, you just go, oh, I could see that.
Yeah, he looked like Ricky Fowler. You know what I mean? He looked like he was going golfing today.
I thought you were going to say, hey, I'm going to Coldwater Creek after this. If you
I should have invited him. Be our fifth. I'll kick Nate out. Actually, be our fourth. I will tell Nate, and his wife would love to not golf with him. Are you kidding me? If I showed up with an IndyCar driver?
Nate, I'm sorry. He's better looking than you. He's got more money than you. But would you be prepared to play skins with him?
No.
Yeah, but
that's the
where
point.
Your handicap is you'd get a lot of shots.
He just said, I don't play for that. What a great question. Do you play for money? Oh, I don't play for free.
Yeah, he did not hesitate. He did not hesitate to say, yeah. Can you imagine how competitive that is out there with Bubba Wallace and Blaney? Do you like the fact that like Penske puts IndyCar drivers under that no dirt restriction? You know, because
I totally get it, dude. I mean, if you watch dirt track racing, you have to understand what that's about. It's dirt track racing is a dangerous game.
Yes, it is.
It's a dangerous hobby. And man, when you put open wheels out on dirt, that's why sprint car racing. One of the reasons, dude. You said it, Greta. Why did Greta love going to hockey? Because of the fights. Why did that 9-year-old girl on the news the other day love hockey? Because of the fights. Why do we love racing? Because of the danger. Where you're that close to danger. And on the dirt, man, it's just too much to risk. These guys are $1 million athletes in a $1 billion industry. Yes, you've got to put some safeties in there to say you don't. And they're adrenaline junkies.
Yes.
So this carrot's dangling in front of them to go, hey, do you want the ultimate adrenaline rush? Do you want to do 160 miles an hour on dirt and then do a U-turn? Because that's what we do.
It's a literal U-turn.
That's what Wade and his buddies are going to go do. Do you want to go do that? And that's how you get the Tony Stewarts of the world that go, yeah, I'll just own my own team so I can go do both.
515-517-2303. Speaking of fights, We're going to talk a little boxing. We hit upon this late in the show yesterday, but we wanted to have a longer conversation about it. You got Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford coming up in September with a new little carrot that's being dangled in front of both boxers. We'll discuss when we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
So, you're driving along the road and minding your own business when a thought pops into your head. When's the last time I had my alignment checked? You know it's important. Poor alignment can impact your tire wear, your grip on the road, and even your gas mileage. But just as your mind starts to ache and the sweat starts to pool around your lower back, you remember, I service my car at Willis Cadillac in Clive, Iowa, and they check the alignment for free with the purchase of any service. And the serenity of that thought frees you once again. Give us a call or head online to williscadillac.com to schedule your appointment today.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
What? What are you looking at?
That time I heard flying hard.
No, I heard falling hard. Okay. Hey, folks, the Iowa Fireworks Farm is the place you want to go for your 4th of July fireworks. Time is of the essence, right? We are almost a week away from the 4th of July, and you need to go discover a bumper crop of boomers at dirt cheap prices.
Wade has been an awesome part of our group here for a while, and very happy to support him and encourage you to take that quick drive. About 25 minutes straight south on I-35. Hit that new Virginia exit. You're going to see his 6,000 square foot warehouse that's down there tons of products, a lot of them that you can preview with a little QR code that's right there on them. You can walk up to them, see exactly what it is you're going to be getting for, a bumper crop of boomers at dirt cheap prices.
Of course, we want to give you something just for going to the Iowa Fireworks Farm. And if you go to therushradio.com, click on the promotions tab, fill out your name, your telephone number, your email address, you could be registered to win a $50 gift certificate to the Iowa Fireworks Farm. That you can buy the rabbit hole and probably one more cake for that $50 and just add on to that, like Allison Rudolph did. She won our $50 gift certificate last week, and we got one more gift certificate to give away this week, and then next week we'll be giving away the grand prize, which is a $700 assortment, which we're calling the Godfather.
That's how somebody's going to show up and make a 4th of July party.
Yes.
And they're going to be like, how'd you do this? I didn't know you were a fireworks guy. And that person's going to go, I am now.
It's funny how it gets in you're like, oh, this is fun.
It does. I had to warn yesterday, Eli had a doubleheader yesterday. And Audrey's little friend is there. It's hot. They're getting bored. I'm like, hey, girls want to go across the street to Juice Company? They're like, yeah, let's do that. And one of the moms is like, oh, my daughter's never been to Juice Company. I was like, oh, are you okay with me taking her? She's like, yeah, why? I go, because I'm basically taking her to the east side to do a drug deal. She goes, what do you mean? I go, well, she's going to be hooked and it's going to be expensive for you. So do you want me to take her or not? Because they're good.
When it comes to fireworks, there are different levels. You kind of know the novice to the expert, right? And to me, and I think Wade at the Iowa Fireworks Farm would agree with this, is that you can tell the novice because their assortment's not that big and they're lighting each fuse with a match, right?
A match?
A match. You're still using matches because you think, oh, I'll just use a match. Then you move up, you get a little bit more, and you're like, oh, they gave me these punks. So I'm going to light the punk and see if that works. Then you're like, the punk doesn't work that well. And then you move up, you buy more, and then you get the little grill starter, and then you use the grill. And then you're like, this isn't good enough. And then you move up, you buy even more, and then you get the torch. And then you reach the point where I'm putting this on an electronic system. Boom, 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 and it just sets off. There are phases to letting off your fireworks, from just the old style matches to where, oh, I've got this all set up with just to fire automatically. So where are you at your fireworks?
Grill lighter.
That's where I'm at. I've never progressed. It's kind of like getting it's like a merit badge in Scouting America, or it's like moving up an order of in the secret order of Society of Masons. Like, oh, you now get to use the torch. You're that advanced. But again, Iowa Fireworks Farm for all your fireworks needs. Ross, we brought this up at the end of the show yesterday. I wanted to have a longer conversation about it. Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford are going to be fighting in September. I believe it's September 13th in Las Vegas. They had their kind of kickoff news conference the other day in Saudi Arabia because it's being sponsored by the Saudi Arabia Boxing Association. And that's kind of who's promoting this. And the guy who runs that thing has said, hey, I'm sick and tired of Tom and Jerry fights. All right. So what he's doing for the Alvarez-Crawford fight and every fight that they promote moving forward is kind of that UFC model where there is a bonus for a knockout. And boxing needs something. Boxing's popularity has dropped tremendously over the last 20, 30 years. And I don't know if it's going to change the way these guys fight, because the way boxing and guys have boxed lately, does it really incentivize you to go out there and just get off your game and go for the knockout? Will it stop the Tom and Jerry fights?
I don't know, Travis. I like the idea. Man, again, so much to unpack with this story. From the Saudi Arabia thing. So let's just start with the overall premise. We'll start big and work our way through the funnel. The promoter's right. Boxing suffers from this Olympic style Floyd Mayweather pugilism, right? It's not boxing. It's not a fight anymore. It doesn't feel like a fight anymore. You mentioned yesterday that I, in my mind, was the golden era of boxing for me. As a 47-year-old man now, the golden era of boxing is Hagler, Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran. Yeah. These dudes that stood in the middle of the ring and beat the shit out of each other, man. That was boxing. You watched Mike Tyson because if you blinked, you could miss it. He was going to knock a guy's head off. He didn't want to beat you. He wanted to destroy you. He wanted you to never want to fight again. And there was something to that. And then all of a sudden, somehow it got to where the pinnacle of boxing was Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather. And man, you go watch that fight, and it's a tactical. It's not even wrestling. It's not even wrestling. It's like this strange amalgamation of what boxing was supposed to be, but a points system. You just don't understand the sweet science of it. You're right. You're right. I don't understand the sweet science of it. I don't want to see the sweet science. I want to see violence. I want to see Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler stand in the ring and slug on each other until one of them says, he's the tougher guy. That's what I thought we were signing up for. Not which guy's quicker. Floyd Mayweather, he destroyed boxing. Let's get a little bit hyperbolic here. Guy makes a trillion dollars every time he boxes, right? We all saw it. How did that destroy boxing? How is it that a guy that was the number one draw for his lifetime? More people watched him on pay-per-view than watched Mike Tyson. Was Floyd Mayweather a more exciting boxer than Mike Tyson?
No, not even close.
Not even close. Not even close.
Not even close.
When you bought a Floyd Mayweather pay-per-view, you knew that you were signing up for a full fight, a long fight. When you bought a Mike Tyson pay-per-view, it was everybody be in the damn living room. When the bell
over in 30 seconds.
When the bell rings, you better be in the living room. So boxing does need something, man. And I love this idea of if you guys go out there and actually fight, and one of you knocks the other one out, I'm going to pay you more money. That's what sports are for the most part. Sports are, hey, if you do something that's fascinating and you do something that draws people in and you do something that gets attention, we're going to reward you for that with money. That's kind of the deal with professional sports. So I like this, but your question was, will it actually impact it? That I don't know, because you're talking about two dudes that can't change the way they fight. When they go in there, a tiger can't change its stripes. He can't, or a zebra, or a lion, or a new dog. A new dog can't learn old tricks. I mean, when they get in there, they're gonna box the way that they've been boxing for 30 years. How old is Bud Crawford? He's got to be in his 30s.
He's in his late 30s now.
Late 30s?
I covered Bud Crawford. It's funny. I live in the same town that Bud Crawford lives in. So, Bud Crawford's out and about all the time. Last time I saw Bud, he was getting on the A group in Southwest. I'm like, really? Really? Come on, Bud. You could do better than the A group on Southwest. But, I remember when he won the gold. I remember when he won the Golden Gloves as an amateur, as a late teenager. You knew he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be this type of
world
guy,
champion. Right? Yeah.
He could become the first guy to hold 3 undisputed weight class belts. And ESPN for the longest time had him like the best pound for pound puncher out there. He's 41-0. He's knocked out 11 of his last 12 opponents, but he's not getting any younger. And unfortunately, he was strapped by boxing and its promotion rules. He never got the big payday, should we say. Now he's doing okay. He's not, but
he's doing he's A group in Southwest doing good.
Yeah, but we're not talking Mayweather money. We're not talking
no.
Types of,
and he has a Mayweather type record.
Yes.
Probably, maybe has more knockouts than Floyd Mayweather, honestly.
Wouldn't shock me.
Canelo Alvarez, by the way, because I did 34 years old. So a combined 71 years of age in the ring together. This is this again, man. You touched on it there. Bud has always been the victim of the promotion around him. And this is just another example of that. Why we didn't get to see a Pacquiao Mayweather until those guys were both way past the
their
prime. This is the same sort of situation.
I don't know if Bud's out of his prime yet, but
he's 37 years old.
Yeah, he's getting there, right? I mean, Bud Crawford, the sad thing is Bud Crawford's more popular in the boxing world today than he was when he was in his 20s.
True, absolutely true. Absolutely. There is no denying, though, at 37 years old, dude from Iowa says, I always liked watching George Foreman. George Foreman was a champ that old. He was 40-something.
I think that just showed the state of the heavyweight division when George Foreman was a champion.
He beat Michael Moore.
But, you know, this money is possible, and it's a different take on boxing because of Saudi Arabia. And, you know, Austin says, but Saudi is evil, right? Right, Liv? Listen, say what you want. That was, I don't know if it was virtue signaling at the time, but that was the narrative they needed to create division. Is that, okay, how do we justify this as evil? Because these guys are going to own their media rights. They're going to go play golf. How can we make this evil? Oh, it's Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
You're not hearing it here. Hell, a lot of fights take place in Saudi Arabia now because that's where the money is. These guys are chasing money.
It's so easy to instantly turn that stuff around and go, oh, follow the money on anything. Oh, so we're gonna make judgments on who gets money based on the moral standing of the people that started with the money. Let's play this game. And instantly it takes about 3 minutes of conversation, people to go, oh shit, okay, I fell for something. What you fell for was, Travis is right, it was an us versus them. So again, let's talk about the tactics that came out, the debate. It's Live Golf comes out. Okay, it's us versus them. How do we create the narrative and drive that narrative? So now you go to all of these different conversation coaches like Oren Klaff, who teaches you about the moral high ground. The framework of a conversation is always the same. Some of the words change, but the framework is always going to be the same, and it teaches you how to identify that. And the best place that you can be is the moral high ground. There's nothing above that. That's the best. That's the best place to start your argument from. And so that's what the PGA did. How do we create the moral high ground? Well, we tell people it's dirty money. Don't you remember 9/11?
These are evil people.
We're not talking about golf. We're not talking about golf. We're not talking about 4 rounds versus 3 rounds. We're talking about evil people. Yeah. Very, very true. Very true. But then, Travis, why aren't we talking about the evil guy that's going to pay Bud Crawford and Terrence and Canelo Alvarez?
Because we don't care.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. So
anyway,
it'd be interesting to see if this works. And they're not saying what the payout
knockout bonuses.
Yeah, but they are going to do it in future fights, which is good. They're going to.
Trav, you know, in the UFC, like, okay, so you've got knockout of the night, you have fight of the night, you have submission of the night, okay, and then those fight bonuses. That's one of the it's like a stat. It's like a stat in the UFC. How many fight bonuses have you had? Because that's an indication of how exciting of a fighter you are.
And if you're an exciting fighter, what does that do? That sells tickets. It gets people excited. It becomes entertainment. And that's what we want to be. We want to be entertained. We don't want to watch guys just dance around a ring, strategically throw punches, gain points. We want to see a brawl. And hopefully this incentive leads to that with Alvarez and Crawford.
By the way, Floyd Mayweather had 27 knockouts, way more than I would have thought he did.
But how many fights?
50.
Alvarez has already had like 62. He's like 62-2.
But I was right. Bud Crawford has more. He has 31 knockouts in 41 fights. 41
he hits hard.
Oh.
Hard. Again, that fight's going to be, I believe, on Netflix. So that'll be
okay.
Fun. It's going to be in Las Vegas. It's going to be on Netflix.
And many people will stream it as did Tyson Paul, so we'll maybe actually get to watch it.
Yeah, we won't have the spinning wheel of death or like we get with me every morning. So
not every morning.
Not every morning.
Well, every once in a great while. As often as I'm in a bad mood, we get your spinning wheel of death.
How do you know when Ross is pissed? I just disappear.
It actually kind of makes it funny. Every time it happens, luckily it's right as I'm getting ready to go into some 8-minute rant. So it's perfect.
Yeah, I can just sit back and they were just going to listen to you anyway.
Right.
The NCAA yesterday approved the no scholarship limits, but rather the roster cap. So that became official yesterday when the board approved that. So football is going to be at 105. Now, keep in mind, I think baseball can go up to like 34. You remember they had 11.9 scholarships before, but as Brian Duax from Central City Liquors pointed out yesterday, his son plays soccer. Just because you have to maintain the roster caps, but that doesn't mean they're going to give like 34 baseball scholarships, which always cracks me up. Well, we can't do that. Well, it's just a shell game. I mean, at the end of the day, when you bring these people in, it's just the athletic department paying the school, which I always find that interesting that you're really going to pay the school. The school's collecting its money. Well, you have a full ride scholarship, so give us money for that. Really?
Smarter people than us, Travis, right? Smarter people than us were the ones that figured out there's a big advantage to having these things under different umbrellas somehow and having the athletic department pay the university. Okay, well then aren't you just selling the logo? Well, if that's the case, then why not just sell it to a corporation and have it be sponsored? Aren't you just a club sport selling the university's logo to this other entity that but again, smarter people than me figured out a long time ago that this was the way, and they're making a lot of money. They're doing really well, especially for complaining about how they're all broke.
Not everybody's doing. I mean, Drake's always going to struggle. I mean, there's going to be schools that struggle. If you're in the American Athletic Conference and not the SEC, you're not doing as well as an SEC schools. I mean,
hold
not
on.
Everybody's getting rich.
Athletic directors get paid really well
At the big schools. I think if you went to these AAC schools, they're making good money, but nothing like
what are the
$1
coaches?
million.
What are the coaches making?
I would say at an AAC school, probably right around $1 million, maybe a little bit more. But they don't stay there either.
I know, but this is where you lose people. And again, it's the bills are big. We get that. But you've got people making really good salaries in their communities. And then that's fair to say. I'm not being mean with that. I'm not being out of line.
No, you're not.
I'm not picking on anybody. They make good money. They deserve it. They deserve it. They drive a huge industry.
South Florida coach is the highest paid coach in the AAC at $2.5 million. Goes all the way down to, in that.
So when you've built the system that allows a coach to make $2.5 million at a university that I didn't even know had a football team.
South Florida was good for
you see what I'm joking.
Yeah, I know.
I'm joking. And then part of this conversation is also like, oh God, we're all broke. What are we going to do? We're all broke.
They're not broke. They just got to figure out how to work the new system.
The Des Moines public schools. Oh my God, we're all broke. How many people do you have making six figures that don't even work in schools? Yeah. How do we do it? How do we pay the bills around here?
Ross, you don't understand. We have to have the top talent in these positions.
We got to, and lots of other things. Again, back to the Jamie Pollard conversation. It was built wrong, and it's hard to fix now because you're still building off of the broken foundation. So Jamie Pollard's right. The only thing to do with the magic wand is to go back and then go. So what do? You just continue to try to throw new stuff at the wall to figure out how to move forward and to salvage whatever this NCAA thing is anymore.
One vote to keep an eye on with the Board of Governors with the NCAA today, or it could come tomorrow, is that there is a proposal, Ross. It got through the initial committee hearing in April on a 21-1 vote, is to change the rules around gambling, allowing staff members and players, athletes, to wager on professional sports. And because what they're finding is that a lot of these compliance people are dealing with so many minor infractions of, you placed a small wager on the National Football League. They don't want to deal with it anymore. They're like, can we end this? And they don't get a bet on college sports or the sport they play in. But if they want to bet on the NBA, they want to bet on the NFL, we're going to let them do it. The argument is it's a gateway to other things. I see both sides of this. I really don't know if I have a hard opinion one way or another on it, because I'm like, at the end of the day, they're going to probably do it anyway. I was first exposed to gambling by the Grandview baseball team when I first arrived in 1992. I'm like, you all have a bookie? You all have a sheet? I mean, this isn't something new,
no,
right? Even with the with the apps and everything, gambling's been around a long time. So to say, hey, if you want to bet on the NFL, go ahead. If you want to bet on the NBA, go ahead.
Smart move. It's the right thing to do to move forward. I'm with you, Trav. I understand what they were trying to do with that one. I can see how some of the there's still some fear there that inside information can travel. But man, at this point in 2025, like, most information gets out pretty quick. There aren't many secrets anymore. So yeah, I have no problem with it. I think that the interesting part of this, like, we saw all of those athletes here in Iowa get in trouble for that stupid ass investigation,
That's
right?
set up. They were framed.
And now there's lawsuits that are going to come from that. And now how quickly all of that, I mean, ruined some paths, really changed some trajectories of some lives. And now here we are just a couple months later, and everybody's in bed together.
Because it takes one person, one team, one school to get in trouble. Then you go, well, let's look at the broader picture here. They got busted. We need to change the rules before we get busted.
Yeah. We should change the rules.
So that vote could be, but they're saying it may not pass as easy to get out of committee. There's some back and forth on that, but that's going to be one to follow.
Before we go on, wrap up on a Tuesday here, I want to let some folks know about some exciting news. Mets called up a new pitcher, Richard Lovelady. And exciting news is that Richard Lovelady has asked reporters, I'm not making this up, to call him and teammates. He wants to officially be known by his nickname, Dickie Lovelady.
Now taking the mound for the Mets, Dickie Lovelady. Dickie Lovelady. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
Don't you hate when you're on a road trip and you want to stop somewhere to get something to eat, but you need to take a look at the menu first? Here at Willis Nissan, we decided to implement some menus to make servicing your car easier and more efficient. Our menu offers good, better, and best packages based off of your mileage of your vehicle. And we're offering 10% off the entire menu for the month of June if you mention this ad. Feel free to make an appointment at willisnissan.com or walk on in and make sure that your car is ready for the road trips that you're going on this summer.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.